How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into another episode of NAISB. So I am recording on my phone because I'm the smart guy that decided to just leave my laptop up in the baseball press box. But Carly, you might sound a little better, a little bit more clear to the people now, yeah?
Hello?
New mic. So Carly's got same mic that I got. No free ads, but shout out HyperX to make a great mic. So if you get in podcasting, streaming, or anything, great mic. I love using it. Carly's got hers. So hopefully I hope this was hopefully going to be the first episode we got to each have our own laptop with the mic and all that. Unfortunately, I'm on my phone. If you hear any buzzing or anything, apologies. We're going to be real quick with this, so we try to avoid a lot of that. But yeah, we have a great episode for y'all. Three phenomenal guests, three Eastern Oregon Mounties, Coach Nicole, Christian, Kaylie Hoskins, and Kylie Parsons. Carly, awesome interview with those three.
It's really good. I really enjoyed talking to Coach Nicole.
Yeah, and they got a big series this weekend. We'll get to that towards the end. But again, hey, we're going to burn through this midweek recap and a little weekend preview really quick and get you on to the interview and to some weekend NAI softball. Carly, we're going to start with a game that you watched. I'll admit, I was out on the water doing a little fishing, catching some redfish, catching my dad caught snook, tore up the truck, caught my PB speckled trout, 24 inches. Come on, nice little. Come on. But a big game.
Fried them bad boys up.
Oh yes, I did. Right in the peanut oil. Real good. We could have grilled them. Could have been healthy. But why? Why do that? No. Got fried. Peanut oil. Oh, it's so good. Need to go do that again. All right. Let's get started. Softball. Georgia Gwinnett, Mobile. They split. Carly, you watched this game. What were your takeaways?
I did, yeah. Mobile took Georgia Gwinnett took game 1, 3-1, collected just 4 hits, took advantage of some uncharacteristic errors by the Rams defense. Actually scored their 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th from the 3 errors. McKenna Talcott got things going. She had a 2-out RBI single. Annalise Jarvis pinch hit single to score their 2nd run. 3rd run scored on the 3rd error of the game. That's all she wrote. Kaylin James recorded 5 2/3 of an inning before Jarvis came in, but James recorded 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, Jarvis getting a pinch hit there in the stats. So she did a little hitting for Brian. Did not think Coach Cat would have her do that at all. But hey, we know big thing for Georgia Gwinnett. They had a little trouble scoring runs. They're starting to score some more. And hey, if Annalise can swing a bat, why not stick her out there? She knows how to throw one. I guess she can hit one too.
Yeah, she sees it both ways. Things flip a little bit though in game 2. Mobile takes it 5-1. They get up early in the 1st from a single from Sydney Fitzgerald. Gracie Vanderford followed up with a 2 RBI single down the right field line. That was the big hit of the inning for them. Rams score again in the 2nd off a wild pitch and a Maya Simmons single. And Brinkley Goff got the complete game win in the circle. She allowed just 2 hits and struck out 9.
Yeah, good split for both teams, obviously. And you have a midweek non-conference split. Hard to really tough. Whatever. Carly, you did say, when we talked after this game, you told me about you feel like Mobile maybe kicking themselves a little bit, and maybe they could have left Lawrenceville with 2 wins.
I think so. I'm a little split on that. The 3 errors did give Georgia Gwinnett the edge in that game, but
Sure.
We didn't see Jarvis until I think the 5th inning. So I don't know. It makes me wonder if things would have been a little bit different. Sure.
Maybe James runs into a little bit more trouble, and Coach Cat goes to Annalise a little bit quicker. Who knows? But either way, top 25 wins. I believe both teams pretty much stayed right where they were at in the new top 25. Speaking of the new top 25, about as expected. Not a lot of changes, not a lot of shakeup. Grandview dropped out. Not really surprised there. Benedictine replaced them. Great for them. I thought maybe there was a chance we saw St. Thomas be the team that takes that spot, but I have no problem.
Right on the edge, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 26. They are right there. Yeah, there was just a lot of in the middle of the top 25, just a lot of teams. Yeah, that they had some tough loss or two, but they got wins, and then like everybody else kind of took a tough loss. Like they just off the top of my mind, Indiana Wesleyan losing to Spring Arbor, Coastal Georgia losing to Kaiser and one to Weber. I think maybe that was the team I thought may have dropped a little bit more. Obviously, big series coming up. Kaiser, or excuse me, in a few weeks, St. Thomas and Coastal Georgia, they were in the Sun. But we'll talk about another big Sun Conference matchup this weekend later. For now, we're going to go to the Peach State in the AAC, where Reinhardt took 2 over Truett McConnell. I did get to watch the first game of these and a little bit into the second one. Also, shout out CJ, made a great video for us. But game one, it was all Eagles. I mean, they jumped all over them early. It was actually I had the game on my laptop. Then I walked away and I came back and it was 2-0. And I was like, what happened? And said, I don't know. They just made a lot of noise. I'm like, let's rewind this. But they put up a 4 spot in the first off of Molly Stevens, 2 RBI single. She was 3 for 3 on the day. Ansley Evans and Kylie Frazier also had RBI singles. They would tack on 2 more on a double and a sac fly. Take the game 6-1. Whitney Shepard, complete game in the circle, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts. Game 2, a little bit more fight from the Bears, but the Eagles just soared right over them. 8-4. Stevens stayed hot, going 3 for 4, a triple, pair of RBIs. Jill Martinet went 2 for 4, a double, and also added 3 more RBIs. There's another strong performance in a complete game in the circle from an Eagle pitcher. This time it was Ali Andriano, 8 hits, struck out 6, only allowed 3 earned. Pretty much, no doubt now Reinhardt will be the 1 seed. They're going to win that conference kind of as expected coming in. They've looked like the best team in that conference throughout the year. They're 12-0 in AAC play. I'm not going to say they're going to pull a Cumberland's like last year and go undefeated, but at this point, it wouldn't shock me if the Eagles don't lose a game in AAC play.
Yeah.
Moving on, Carly, a tough one for our good friend Mimi Maggard. This was a big matchup against Ottawa. Ottawa and Avila. Look, whoever won this series is going to be top 25 in the next polls, most likely. Ottawa obviously held on to their top 25 ranking. Avila probably a little PO. They didn't crack the top 25 over Ottawa. However, the Braves proved they deserved to stay right there in the top 25, Carly.
Yeah, like you said, they proved that, there's a reason they are in the top 25. They take game 1, 7-2. Rachel Peterson got things rocking in the second. She hit her first bomb of the year, 3-run home run. She ended up going 2 for 4 with a home run and a double. They take the 4-1 lead in the third off a bunt single from Reagan Hammonds. And then they pile it on in the fourth, making it 7-1. Rest was history. Ashley Mercer, 7 innings, 5 Ks. Game 2, a little bit closer. It was kind of back and forth.
I just want to say real quick, Ashley Mercer is just a gritty pitcher. I mean, just finds ways to win. Also, 9-hole hitter Rachel Peterson, when she hit her first home run of the year, it's like, all right, I have a 9-hole hitter who's almost more of a slapper. I wouldn't maybe technically classify Peterson as a slapper, but still, for her to get a home run, it's kind of a weird game. But Ashley Mercer, man, she's a dog. She is a lot of fun to watch in the circle. And I think she's kind of one of those names. There's so many just top end elite pitchers in NAI softball. I feel like Ashley Mercer may be a name we don't talk about nearly enough. I mean, she's a number one arm on a top 25 program for a reason.
Yeah. That's electric for Rachel Peterson in the first home run of the 9-hole. Yeah. Game 2, though, a little bit closer. Ottawa takes it 6-5. It goes 8 innings. Back and forth a little bit all game long. Bottom of the 6th, though, Avila rallies down 3-1 to make it a tie ball game. Both teams got a runner on third in the 7th. Neither of them could cash it in, so we go to the 8th. Braves cash in some runs. Nayli Delgado has a 2-run double, followed by a Morgan Bradford double. They make it 6-3. Eagles score 2 in the bottom of the 8th, but they lose a heartbreaker. They can't get that 3rd run in. Madison Carney goes 7 2/3, allowing 9 hits and just 2 earned runs.
Yeah, I mean, great win for Ottawa. I mean, now they've got to feel pretty confident about the rest of KCAC play. But as we saw in that conference, winning that obviously does not mean you're going to win the tournament. Avila was in a very similar spot last year. They lost 2 to Ottawa in the regular season. Things turned out pretty good for them. Made the opening round, won that conference tournament. So we'll see. I don't think anything negative about Avila after this. However, for Ottawa, man, I feel really good for them and them moving forward. And this one was kind of like the Reinhardt game. I got to watch game 1, and then game 2, I had to prepare, get our stuff together, record with who you are about to hear with here in just a few minutes. And we're going to keep rolling so we can get to that interview. Houston, Victoria. Look, they're in a conference where we know who number one is. Whoever is number 2 is definitely going to be an opening round. So this is a big sweep. Houston, Victoria took 2 in dominant fashion over Texas A&M San Antonio. The pitching was phenomenal. All 3 pitchers. We'll start with Cameron Cohen, a complete game, 6-hit shutout. This was a pitcher's duel back and forth for the first half of this game until it wasn't. Kenzie Chambers, 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. Kaylie Lopez, 2 for 3, 2 RBIs and a double. And Claire Blinka, 3 for 4, 2 RBIs and a double. Hey, this is 1-0 going in. Credit to Cohen, kind of stuck with it. And then, something I love that really sticks out to me in a lineup is, maybe you get beat the first time through, maybe even 2 times through, you get beat, but you're still able to power through, see a pitcher well, adjust. I think that this game really said a lot about that for Houston, Victoria. And then obviously it helps when Cameron Cohen's throwing a CG shutout. Game 2 was a combination shutout. Anicia Mendoza and Aaron Sanchez combined for the 3-hit complete game shutout. Out hit Texas A&M San Antonio 10-3. Kenzie Chambers, once again, what a massive day for her, 3 for 4 with a double. I mean, that brought her on the day. Great day. 5 for 7, 7 RBIs or 5 RBIs. I'll take that. Claire Blinka right there with their big day, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. So those 2 having a big days. Kayla Lopez having a big day. Then Mendoza, Sanchez, Cohen. It's 3 great pitchers. I don't know if I can 100% say Houston Victoria is the number 1 team in that, number 2 team in that conference. Our Lady of the Lake's number 1 team in the country. They still haven't lost the NAIA game yet. So I think they're going to be number 1 in that conference when it's all said and done. But hey, it's a really good conference. Red River has proven to be really strong, maybe a bit underrated, a little bit overlooked as a conference when you get past Our Lady of the Lake. Kind of similar to what we were talking about with the WAC earlier in the year. Obviously, the WAC doesn't have an OLLU, but still. Those are kind of the games that really stuck out to us that we watched at least this week. So let's go on. Let's get into a little bit of a preview. I want to get y'all onto that interview. Well, let's stick right with the Red River. 12 o'clock Central Time first pitch, a big one in that conference. LSU A takes on Our Lady of the Lake. Obviously, anybody's trying to be OLLU at this point. Can LSU A do it? Possibly. Let's talk a little bit about OLLU. And again, all these previews, we're not going to do much of a deep dive because we have some teams that we talk a really good bit about. OLLU is obviously one of them. But just looking past Cassie Valdez, we know her. Y'all know her stats. Y'all know they're ridiculous. She's a player of the year contention. But looking past, I mean, this obviously is not just a Cassie Valdez show. Looking at this lineup, one, it's a ton of speed. Defensively, very sound. You look at Natalie Rodriguez, ton of experience with her batting 354, 16 extra base hits, and right behind Valdez as far as RBIs with 34. Kayla Dreesy having a phenomenal year, 441, 15 extra base hits, and 22 stolen bases. And Madison Garza batting over 400 as well. You have Grace Ross, flamethrower behind the plate, as well as 7 home runs. Like, this is the number 1 team in the country for a reason. They're really good. However, I look over at LSU A. They have something really cooking here. They have a lot of good young players. Look at Haley Fontenot, their sophomore, batting 480, playing a good shortstop position, 13 extra base hits. Great 2-way player in Haley Primrose. She's 7-3 in the circle with a 3.47 ERA. Look, she's got to have one of the best days of her career. but can absolutely happen for them to pull off that upset. She's also 333 with 6 home runs. And then two more really young players, Maddie Baker and then a freshman and Kylie Moody batting over 330. There's some dangerous parts in this Generals lineup that could mess around with the Saints. However, this is OLLU we're talking about. They're going to be tough. LSU A is going to have to march in pretty strong if they're going to take one from Our Lady of the Lake.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone in that conference were to give OLLU a run for their money, I mean, I think it would be LSU A, but like you said, they got to come in hot.
Yeah, looking at another big one in the Mid-South, Freed, Hardeman, and Campbellsville. Carly, this is going to be a great 3-game set. There's a really strong young player hitting the cover off the ball right now for Campbellsville. Freshman Jesse Daniels is batting .362 with 32 RBIs and 9 home runs. Kind of reminds me of another someone who was a freshman for them last year. It is now a sophomore, Caroline Pitcock, who has never heard of the term sophomore slump. She's batting .408 with 21 extra base hits. There's a couple girls that may be coming for our good friend Bailey Dillender's record. Now head coach for the Cumberland Patriots, of course, but had a great career for Coach Watson and the Tigers. But hey, they're going to have their work cut out for them. You look at, first off, just some of the bats in Freed Hardeman. They have 4 players batting over 400, highlighted by Burnley Kosar at the top of that lineup, batting .478. Of course, Carly Quillen having a great year at .433. And Olivia Eggleston. Olivia. Attaboy. Attaboy. Hey, I was rolling there for a minute. I was rolling there. I was like, it's better. It's better than Rhiannon for Benedictine. I said the other night. Good God, that was.
What was it, Rhiannon?
Yeah, Rhiannon. Yeah, like the Walmart Rihanna. But hey, I do have a note for this one. So this is a massive game because we are getting to a point of the year when you start looking at, how many games can you lose before you are in real danger of not making an opening round without getting an AQ spot. And I don't think Freed Hardeman or Campbellsville are quite sounding that alarm yet. However, they still got dates with the Cumberland's Patriots. These are hard matchups, and it is crazy to say, but we may be looking, even with an expanded field, only one team, maybe 2 teams from the Mid-South getting added to into the opening round. So these are some massive head-to-head matchups. And a scary part for, I think, not only Campbellsville this weekend, but for the rest of the Mid-South. Man, Chloe Winters and Brittany Adair are starting to get real hot in the circle. Like 2 years ago, that was a duo that got the Lions to the World Series. They're starting to they're just looking at some of the performances those two are starting to put together. I know there were some injuries, tough kind of start to the year. They're starting to roll, and it's the right time of the year to do so, Carly.
Yes, sir.
Moving on, just a couple games. All right, let's breeze past these and get on to the big game. We definitely want to talk about Middle Georgia. William Carey. They start off at 2 o'clock on Friday. We talked about those 2 teams a ton, especially recently. So let's not talk too much on that. Same with Middle Georgia. Big weekend for Middle Georgia State Knights. So I think they're 21 in the new poll, something like that. This could be a make or break. I mean, this is for Middle Georgia. There's a real chance they could put together a resume where they'll be the regular season champs. In the Southern states, can really make a push for a top 15, maybe even top 10 conversations, depending on how this weekend goes against William Carey and Mobile. There's certainly something to look at with their 4 matchups on Friday and Saturday. A big one down here in my neck of the woods. 2 teams I talked about. I thought these teams probably too much. Kaiser and St. Thomas. They start their series on Saturday with a doubleheader, and then one on Sunday. Pretty sure that's right. Yeah. Start looking at kind of similar with the Sun Conference. How many teams is the Sun Conference going to be able to send this year? I would maybe think Coastal Georgia is still the favorite, but Kaiser just took 2 from them. They're stacking up wins. St. Thomas is going to have a ton of wins. Can't forget about Southeastern. I don't know how many teams our conference is going to send. Because I mean, look, I've said it, a down year for the Sun Conference, I guess. But still, this is a big one. Kaiser and St. Thomas, whoever wins this series, got to be feeling pretty good about getting in that opening round spot. But Carly, I'll let you take it over because if we could be anywhere in the NAI softball world, we'd be heading up to the great state of Oregon for a 4-game set between College of Idaho. The Yotes take on the Mounties of Eastern Oregon.
Yeah. Starting off, they got a 4-game set. The dynamic duo in the circle is Kaylie Hoskins and Kylie Parsons. They have a 0.75 ERA. They lead the Cascade Conference. 156 strikeouts, a 0.131 opponent batting average, 1.12 ERA, 11-0 record.
You're looking at that graphic that Coach Christian sent.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I think that's reading it right. I think like point. Yeah. I think it's Parsons with a 1.12. It's second in the
I know
Cascade.
she's 11-0.
Yeah, I think that those are meant for like either side. Yeah. So because again, like I just looked at that. We probably should have checked their pitching stats, but we just kind of looked at that like, oh, we'll go with it. But yeah, so it's Hoskins got a 0.75 ERA, which leads the CCC. 156 strikeouts, it leads the Cascade. Leads the Cascade with a 1.13 opponent batting average, and then pretty much number 2 in all of those. Right there behind her is Parsons.
Yeah, 2 absolute stud pitchers. Great pickup for Coach Nicole. But they got 8 bats hitting over 315. Caitlin Evans leads the way. She's hitting 391. She is 19 of 19 on stolen bases. Big threat out there. Madeline Durham, 367, 27 RBIs. And Haley Tyree is 22 of 23 on stolen bases. Really good Eastern Oregon team this year. College of Idaho, though, don't ever count them out. Annie Polster, a true ace for the Oaks. She's throwing 1.59, 79 innings pitched with 74 strikeouts. They also have a really strong lineup. They got 7 of their regular starters batting over 325. They are led by Lolo Walker, 473, 10 home runs, 34 RBIs, 10 for 10 on stolen bases, and a walk to strikeout ratio that's 23-10. So really, really impressive numbers right there by Lolo. Kaylee McDonald's not far behind. She's hitting 395 with 11 stolen bases. She's 11 for 11. And the whole team, I mean, 110 walks to 106 Ks is very impressive.
Hey, remember how this was supposed to be a down year for the Cascade Conference? Whatever happened to that, Carly?
Yeah, I think that was Cap.
Yeah, that was indeed Cap. But yeah, great matchup out there. I mean, guys, it's gonna be tough, but whoever wins that one, they're going to certainly have a case for a top 10 rating here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so a lot of great softball to watch this weekend. There's obviously a lot more games. Check it out on the NAI softball scoreboard. Before we get to the interview, real quick, thank you to everybody who participated in the NAI SB Fan All-Star votes. Team East versus Team West. Taking a look at it, would be a heck of a game. It would be a heck of a game. Yeah. We will release all of that on Sunday night. Shout out Madison White, Connor Darnell, their hard work on some graphics for that. So we will release all of that Sunday night. Monday, we'll take at some point, I don't know if we'll do it before the weekend recap or after, but at some point, we're going to take a kind of a deeper dive into this because how close some of these were for the amount of ballots were just truly crazy. I still am not 100% sure what we're going to do for the tie that we have for the Team East second base. I don't even know how that happened, but but yeah, a lot of great stuff. I mean, a ton of content, ton of ballots submitted. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna do some more stuff like this for sure. Get the fans engaged, get the parents, the players, everything. But hey, for now, we got a great interview. So we're gonna kick it over to Coach Nicole Christian, Kaylie Hoskins, and Kylie Parsons of the Eastern Oregon softball team. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend watching the NAI softball. Okay, we welcome on three very special guests from Eastern Oregon out of the Cascade Conference, Coach Nicole Christian, Kaylie Hoskins, and Kylie Parsons, two amazing pitchers for the Mounties, and a legend and the head coach. Coach Christian, again, thank you so much for coming on with your two aces. Please tell us a little bit about them. Kaylie and Kylie, they have combined to make one of the most respected pitching duos in NAI softball this season. What is it about them that have made your job maybe a little bit easier as far as filling out a lineup card?
Yeah, these two definitely on the mound are great assets to have. We went out searching for top pitchers in the nation. These two just complement each other great on the mound. They're so different. Usually when we're preparing for teams that we face, we usually have one dominant pitcher in regards to the hitting aspect. And last year we had obviously Kaylie and a great pitching staff as well, but we just felt we needed one more piece to complement her even more on the mound to make us even better. And between the two of them, they gave me a lot of gray hairs, 3 months waiting, each of them to get them here. So, I mean, it's just hard. You got two aces, along with a great pitching staff that complement both of them with our other four pitchers. But you can't prepare for one without preparing for the other. And I think that's what's been the great success. They're just so different on the mound from delivery to pitches that it's hard to prepare and come out and play us when you've got two tough pitchers to face.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, if there's one great pitcher on a staff, you're gonna hone in and really have to focus on them and give you more time to focus on that kind of pitcher. But with Kaylie and Kylie, two different styles, obviously very different looks coming out of the circle. I'm sure a lot of gray hairs have been given to other coaches this year, and as we get on throughout. But you said you got some gray hairs from them, making you wait for 3 months. Just tell me kind of what you felt when they both picked up the phone and said, "Hey, I want to be a Mountie."
Was that for me? Sorry.
Yes, Coach. My apologies. Yeah.
No, gosh, I think it was more of a surprise. First, Kaylie signed obviously with us last year. I reached out to one of my friends, Ashley Carter, who's been through D1 program coaching, who's kind of gone more to the personal development and mental health side of coaching. She's been at UW, helped Coach Tar for a while. And I was like, hey, I need someone. You're running through, hitting clinics, pitching. You're over there. Have you seen anybody? And she's like, actually, I've seen this girl working out in the cages. Like, let me see if I can get her info. And I was like, great. So here I go, reaching out to her junior college, Everett. Nothing from coach, nothing from AD. 3 months. And then finally, I can't even remember if it was a text or email from Kaylie. And she's like, hey, I heard you're interested. And I'm like, who is this? And I had to scroll through my text messages, and be like, oh my gosh, yes, we've been trying to reach you for 3 months. And I don't, like we talked a little bit and joked today, like, she's like, I don't even know where you guys were from. Like, I hadn't even heard of you. Yeah. And so that was like the big thing, was getting her out here, getting her to Eastern Oregon University, seeing our campus. We were big education, and at that time, I think that's the route she was looking at going, and got her here, worked her out. We loved it. We loved what we saw. And then she called us when we were in our Cali trip and said, I want to be a Mountie. And so we were jacked about that. And then this one over here turned me down 3 times. I just kept being persistent. And she's like, Coach, she's like, I just don't know if I want to play really. And I was like, okay. And then lo and behold, August comes around and I get a text from her coach and be like, I think Parson wants to play. And I'm like, what? I'm at a barbecue. Tell her to call me, whatever. I need to contact her like ASAP. We got to get things rolling. So yeah, between the two of them, super excited, completely different scenarios, but both put me through a lot to get them here. So I'm very excited to have them both on our staff.
Love it. Love it.
So Kaylie, when transferring, what was it about EOU that helped you decide that that was a school for you when you were being recruited out of Everett?
I honestly didn't have a lot of options. I had no options before I heard about Eastern. I thought I was going to be done. I didn't have any offers. Nobody had reached out. And then when I finally heard that coach had reached out, I decided to go and look. I didn't know where it was, didn't know anything about it. But when I got here, I really enjoyed the small town vibe of it all. It's a little smaller than where I'm from, but it just was like really welcoming. I came in a snowstorm, so that was a little rough, but I really like the campus. It's a really good education school, and at the time, that is 100% what I wanted to do. And the team was super welcoming. That was a lot of it. The facilities were really nice compared to what I was used to, and it was just a really welcoming place from when I got here.
I'd love to know how sorry, I just want to say I would love to know how many coaches, especially on the West Coast right now, are hearing that and are just like, wait, nothing, like nobody for somebody that was a second team All-American last year and still's got 2 more years to put up a resume. But hey, Coach Christian, love it worked out for you.
Me too.
What were you going to ask, Carly? My bad.
Oh, well, it was just kind of silly. I was going to ask if that was like her first ever, was that your first ever snowstorm?
Well, no, there's some snow where I am from. I'm from like 45 minutes north of Seattle, so there's some snow,
Okay.
but it like is like 1 inch and then it turns to ice and then everything gets shut down for like a week. So coming here in the middle of a blizzard and like walking through the snow through campus in 2-degree weather was definitely a change of pace for sure.
But you liked it enough.
Yeah.
Kylie, you are in your first year with Eastern Oregon. Kind of take us through your process of choosing EOU and talk about this year. What's been special to you in your first year at EOU?
Yeah, like you said, I wasn't really going to play until August, and then I figured I probably wanted to. So I committed here. For one, it's really close to home. I'm only like 40 minutes from home. And then just the community aspect, and then how competitive the softball team is here. And then the facilities are also good. And then just the support from the team.
Would you mind like going in or talking a little bit more about you said you got to August, you weren't really sure if you wanted to play. What was kind of the decision? Hey, I want to get back out in the circle.
I just taking like 2 months off of not picking up a softball or not doing anything like that. I was like, this is not what I want to do. I want to do something with softball. So I was like, so I texted my coach and I was like, I made a mistake. I need to play.
Once again, Coach, you're sitting there like, yes, get them. I mean, again, it's awesome, but I mean, overall, your career, you've had a very successful career as a coach at the high school level as well as the collegiate level. But looking at high school, 9 straight state tournaments, won back-to-back state titles in 2014 and 15. Can you tell us a little bit about your time at Mac High School and how it kind of developed you from your playing days to getting into coaching and being in that role to getting back to your alma mater?
Yeah, I mean, Mac High is where I graduated from. So again, back to where I went to high school. I never thought I'd move home. It was actually kind of based off a family emergency. Parents were like, hey, you're the nearest kid. Can you move home kind of thing? And I was like, oh, okay. Come home, take care of grandparent stuff. They knew I was back in town. I coached basketball and softball there at the high school. And, you know, I was there for 10 years. And I think coaching with my dad, I've coached with my dad since I graduated college. Every place I've been at in my road to coaching, he's been a big asset to me. Just the support system. And so being at Mac High was just kind of that starting point. I thought I was done, kind of like Kaylie. I moved back home. I'm like, well, here we go, 10 years. Didn't think I was going to go back to the college level. And then this opened up. You know, and I always said I love LeGrand. I could see myself retiring here. And I loved it when I was here. My boss was my coach. There's a ton of alumni in Eastern. I think that's one thing that we've really talked about. I've had recruits. I have current players that I played with their mom And so alumni is huge at Eastern. Like Mountie family is big. And so just being at Mac High and trying to take those core values that got us to state. Obviously, when you're at high school, you don't get to choose your athletes, and you kind of just mold and roll with what student athletes continue through the high school level. And then here, I think it was a growing period for me when I first got here was COVID. Had to deal with telling seniors like, oh, well, we just played 10 games and now your career's done. You may have an opportunity to play, and not really getting my feet on the ground that first year. Getting it cut short was similar to some of the athletes that I've been coaching. And then just trying to, develop as a coach and what I want Eastern softball to be. When I played, we were 4th in the nation. Our team's in the Hall of Fame. I'm in the Hall of Fame. I wanted that environment. I wanted that competition to come back to Eastern, because when I got here, it was just, oh, they're okay. And I was like, well, how many, there's no fans, there's nothing. And I was like, I'm used to 200 people, couches, pools, everybody's coming out to watch us play. And somewhere along the line, we lost that here. And so coming back here, that's been my big goal, is to get Mountie softball back to the national level every year and being a competitive program, and having to get these type of athletes that are on the sides of me today here and buying into that program and being able to adjust your coaching style. I think that's huge. I came out of college fiery and on one, and now I've had to calm down a little bit with the type of athletes we have. And, I'm a little more laid back and that kind of stuff, and just adjusting has been one thing that I've really had to mature and grow on from when I first started coaching to now.
You said back when you played, it was a little more rowdy, had 200-300 people, some couches, some pools. So what I'm hearing is this Saturday and Sunday, 4 pretty big games coming up. We should have some activities. So maybe I don't know what the weather is going to be like up in your neck of the woods this weekend. Maybe not pools, but maybe get some of the Mountie student athletes, student base fans in the area, get them out there, LaGrande, Oregon, and have a little fun.
Hoping.
Yes.
I'm hoping so.
We are hoping to bring them out.
Promoting.
Yes, promoting big time. I think we're maybe at 50 degrees, chance of snow on Thursday, Friday. So we can only hope that it stays warm enough. Good thing is we do have a section where there's a lot of trucks and RVs and campers that are pulled up that park for the weekend to come and watch our games.
Love it.
Wow. But sticking to your impressive resume, you had a big turnaround for EOU softball from 2021 to 2022. What were some of those bigger contributions to that change, and how have you moved forward with those changes?
I think just recognizing finally the way we want to go in regards to our coaching staff and the type of athletes that we wanted to bring in. We were willing to maybe give up a little bit of the athletic ability for better humans. And then it just started snowballing to where we got great humans into our programs and great athletes. And then we had some D1 transfers in. I think that 22 year, we started adding roster numbers to more of a competition. And I've always tried to be honest, like, hey, we're here to compete. I want 2 to 3 people at a spot. I want us to go in and know that I've got starters if someone goes down right behind you. And I want our starting pitchers to compete. I want our next 2 or 3 in the bullpen ready to compete for a starting position. And for us to be in the toughest conference in the nation, we had to do better in recruiting, just overall better people. And I think this year has been a huge change, even just from last year. And it's just the type of athletes we've got in. Our team gets along great. They're a great group to be around, and just good humans.
I love that. Chemistry's it's not talked about enough, but Kaylie, pitching is the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about Mountie softball. But you and Kylie certainly have a very talented lineup behind you. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your teammates out there and how they help you guys in the circle mentally and confidence-wise?
Yeah, I think that from top to bottom, all the way around, I think every member on our team brings some kind of confidence booster or support in their own ways. And I think that's what's really great about this team is that no matter what I need or who is there, I know that I'm supported. Our field does a really good job of keeping engaged with us throughout the whole game, which I really like. And I know off the field, like my fellow pitching staff, if they're not in, or other people, just in general, everybody is going to be there. If I need something and I can go to them, I can go to anybody who's standing right there, and they're going to be able to give me what I need mentally to pull me back out if I'm struggling, or give me the little boost I need, or help give it even a correction. It's very nice to have everybody 1 through 24 is going to be able to help me out.
Yeah, y'all do a great job, play great complimentary softballs. I mean, obviously, either you or Kylie could go out there and strike out double digits. We've seen it; it's happened in games. But yeah, your defense plays great. Offense picks y'all up because like you play in the Cascade Conference. There's some pretty good bats, pretty good lineups. A great coaching in the conference. You're not gonna go out there and throw a shutout every game, but. What did you learn last year, Kaylie, that you've brought back into this year after one full season competing in the Cascade Conference?
I think that two big things that come to mind are consistency and grit, for sure. I had a lot of success before I came to Eastern and before I was in this conference. But I also was really soft on myself and didn't push myself fully, I think, to my full capability in terms of keeping myself consistent and working through struggle. I didn't really have to deal with that. And so last year, it was definitely a big shift in realizing that pitch 1 to pitch 100, I have to be giving 110% if I want to be successful. And I just need to be able to work through it.
I could imagine maybe if look, I never was ever that dominant in being able to punt a football, but I could imagine somewhere around 4 innings in, you got 12, 13 strikeouts. Maybe gets to wonder a little bit, but good to hear. Yeah, I mean it's tough in a conference like that. Any position, much less being. A pitcher and having to learn from it. It sounds like you've learned from it well, and I'm sure you've been able to help Kylie. And Kylie, you just played in your first Cascade. You played your first Cascade matchup against #1 Oregon Tech. Kind of, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Cascade kind of deal there. Another big one, top 25 matchup against Eastern Oregon. But looking at that first matchup against Oregon Tech, you were phenomenal. 5 innings of shutout, 2-hit ball. But kind of like we talked about, Eastern Oregon plays some great softball in all aspects, and your offense exploded for 10 runs. How would you kind of describe that feeling? Your first like real big conference game. The Cascade is respected as it's been for a long time, in NAIA softball. Just talk about what it means to you be able to play in a game that big in early March.
Well, I knew going into OLLU was going to be a solid team. So just, I think making sure I had confidence and being consistent. And then having my team behind me for all the support really helped our team push to the 10 runs. And then, because we're a very supportive team, we all compete. And then just the Cascade Conference is so competitive. So you have to be ready for every single game you get put into.
Love it. You kind of
No, go ahead. You're good.
no, it's all good. But yeah, Kylie, I mean, I was just thinking about that a little bit more, and I was like, great JUCO. I mean, obviously you were All-American JUCO last year, and then I remember just keeping up with that game, and I was like, all right, I've heard a little bit about Kylie Parsons. I was like, okay, I've heard like this could be a girl that's going to match with Hoskins and could be dangerous, and then I heard that, saw that, and I was like, oh crap, yeah, this is a duo that's going to do something. And that was kind of like me getting introduced. I was like, let me write down that Kylie name, Carly. We may be bringing it up quite a few times this year.
I remember us texting about it.
Yep.
But Kylie, what advice would you give to current JUCO pitchers and players that you wish you knew when you were in their shoes?
I think just keeping in mind that keeping the joy in the game because you don't get it. Like, you won't be able to play for as long as you want, and then having the confidence every time you go in.
Yeah, so interesting part. I didn't get a chance to do the JUCO route. Obviously more popular in diamond sports, but Coach, on the West Coast, the junior colleges out there produce some phenomenal players in our league. I mean, two of them sitting to the left and right of you. On the bat side of things, we're seeing what Sarah Giles is doing down at Jessup. You obviously know Riley Donovan well. See, smile there.
We're glad she's gone.
You and about 197 coaches. Yeah, I remember another name, Riley Donovan, there that I was like one that I heard about and obviously watched on some streams and stuff. But when I saw her for the first time in the World Series, I was like, oh, that's how you swing a softball bat. That's how it's done right there. But just going back to the questions, the JUCOs on the West Coast produce some phenomenal players. Why do you think that is, Coach?
Man, I think we have a ton of talent over here. And, we do a lot of these teams, even at the D1 level, recruit West Side. And the coaches through the high school level, through the JUCO level, we're a heavy JUCO team. I brought in 18 new this year, and I want to say 14 of them were JUCO players. I love it. I think it's not a bad route by all means, and I think it's a huge advantage to some of our athletes. I mean, I have two right here that transferred from the JUCO level. We offer a JUCO scholarship just for transferring from another school, and so that helps on the incentive of the tuition part. But man, just coming in and both playing at the NWAC championship, and that's kind of our local is NWACs for us over here. But it's a ton of talent, and a lot of these kids, I think, are starting to realize, like, maybe save some money, go to a JUCO route, and then get ready for the 4-year. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a great route. It's not for everybody, but we definitely take advantage of that JUCO side of things and the talent that comes out of there.
Yeah, certainly a lot of talent. Starting to see it more in our sport, and like I said, it's a great route. I mean, you're getting players who kind of get that. All right, here's how to be a college athlete, and then boom, all right, and get you for two or 3 years of great performance. But Coach, you have had an incredible career. You mentioned earlier Hall of Fame career. You played on some great Eastern Oregon teams, and now you're back at your alma mater, which I'm sure is an amazing feeling, being able to lead the next generation of Mountie softball. But tell us a little bit about what was it like playing in the NAI then, and like what's a little bit different, and just about. I'm just a guy that's more curious in what NAI softball kind of used to be like before we were here about it. It's something we're definitely going to get into an off-season coverage, talk about the Cascade and like the early 2000s, 90s, other conferences when in their quote unquote heyday. It seems like the Cascade has always been in its heyday ever since it's been here. But just tell us a little bit about that and some of your favorite memories.
I think for us back in the day, because I feel like it was forever ago, and they always tease me because when we do jersey night, they want to go, "Hey, Coach, can we bust out the retros?" And it happens to be like our jerseys when we played. So the NAIA was tough back then. Oklahoma City was there when we went to nationals. However, Simon Fraser was in it. They were one team that we love to play. So we're kind of used to playing the Canadians. They won it, I think, my junior year. And we were the only NAIA team that beat them that year. OIT was tough. One of their main pitchers, currently 2 of the kids play for OIT. So I always see mom in the stands that I had to play against. But the NAIA, we just had a little bit different teams. Western Oregon, Concordia, and those kind of schools that are more on the D3 level were at our conference level when I played. But they had a tournament in regards to like nationals where we didn't have the pool sites. You just made it to one site, and I think it was 16 teams go back and play and duke it out. I think my junior year, they had track, baseball, and softball at one location. So it was a big event. And then my senior year, we were in Alabama and it was just softball. But the NAIA has always been just, it's been there, and I think it's been overlooked. I think when I was more of a player, like it was, oh, it's just an AIA. And I think now these girls have brought the level of NAIA is tough softball. It's, we were competing in the fall with D1 schools. And we went and faced UW, we went and faced Oregon State, we went and faced Portland State to see where we were at in the fall. And, we competed with them. And I think these girls and young women have now gave a new name to NAIA softball. And it's not where it used to be, to where it's just, oh, it's kind of at the bottom level. We're getting those D2, D3, D1 athletes that want to play for us, because it's not all about these girls have a life outside of softball, I feel like. And that's part of our program. We don't confine them. It's not eat, breathe softball. You're here for your education first. You're here to play softball and then also experience college life and meet new people. And I think that's one thing that we continue to build at this level, is that we are a competitive program. It's no longer at the bottom. We're going to compete with those type of schools, and it's not looked upon. I mean, it's not frowned upon anymore. I feel like back from when I played, it was like the lower level. And this is 45 minutes from my home to an hour, kind of like Kylie. I came here when I was, going to be a freshman in college because my parents could come and watch. It was a quick drive, and I had more offers for basketball. I mean, that's how old it was, and so just thinking about coming to Eastern, and I ended up loving it and trying to bring that passion back for these girls. And, hopefully they have kids that want to play here, someday and go where their mom went, where I think we have 3 players right now where their parents were alumni at Eastern that are currently playing for us.
You got me fired up. You got me fired up for some NAIA softball now, Coach. Come on, let's go. I love it. And, it is such a great league and a great sport. I mean, I've said this 100 times. I mean, someone that's been at the D2 level did that for a year and a half, transferred and finish it up, graduate in Weber in May. It's like NAI, it is a fantastic league. It is great for the student athletes. Like you said, it focuses on the student aspect. Not saying the NCAA does. I'm not saying that at all. But I think the NAI just has a great message. And it's starting to get more athletes like Kylie and Kaylie, and more. I mean, we were just talking about Riley Donovan. I mean, like having someone like that, and I mean, names on and on and on and on. We could go down. I mean, just go in your conference alone. That have helped grow this game, and it's great. And Carly and I, we are beyond lucky to be able to just talk NAI softball. We love doing it.
Well,
Carly, one last question.
yeah, should we finish on the good one?
we got to finish on the classic. Let's go.
All right. Any of you can go first, but what is your, you're on a road trip, you stop at the gas station, what's your go-to snack and a drink?
I'm starting.
Go for it.
Okay. Fountain Dr. Pepper with extra ice for sure. And some kind of candy that I can share with Coach T. So it just depends on what she's feeling.
Is there emphasis on the fountain?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure a Fountain Dr. Pepper as well. And then probably some sort of chips.
We got to get a little bored, and maybe, I don't know, replace some of this Braves or Georgia stuff and get a little bored and start writing all these down. We started this with Cumberland's a few episodes ago, and we've had some good ones. I got to say, Fountain Dr. Pepper, consistent. Coach, are we going to have a clean sweep on the Fountain DP?
No, I am sugar-free Rockstar Red Bull because I'm driving a van.
Nice.
We drive vans, so all of us coaches, for the most part, have 1, 2, maybe 4 or 5 stashed for our long trips driving. And then of course, whatever our co-passenger, driver, whatever to our right is eating, we'll share. So
nice. Awesome. Well, Coach Kaylie, Kylie, huge 4 games, 2 doubleheaders this weekend against College of Idaho. Definitely we'll be tuned in for that. Hope everybody listening, y'all be tuned in. If you're in the area, go check it out. Maybe not a pool, maybe a barbecue, maybe a little bonfire,
Maybe a
Maybe a jacket.
There we go. There we go.
Beanies, gloves. Yeah.
There we go. Well, get out there, support the Mounties. If you are a part of that school, get out there. And again, Coach Christian, Kaylie, Kylie, thank y'all so much. Keep killing it. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.